So yeah, let's fucking rip.
Did you go to the gym this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm nursing a fuck. You know me, I'm riddled with injuries. I'm sure it's just like, but yeah, I went, did legs. I'm training different now. Mostly like I was doing a lot of bodybuilder stuff, and I got into strength, and now it's just like I don't want to hurt anymore. So it's all mobility, a lot of lower body, a lot of core. But yeah, I'm nursing these 2 shoulder injuries.
Yeah,
it's rough, right?
Yeah,
Free weights.
Yeah, it's like I forget I'm 45 when I'm in that gym, you know.
Do lower body. I always start with legs. If I'm going to the gym, it's legs first day, always.
Yeah, always tee off the week with with legs. That's what I do.
It's like the one thing we always pushed off when we were kids. It's like, oh, let's just do chest and bench press.
Yeah, no, I fucking love legs. I walk out of the gym after doing legs, I feel like a brick shit house.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of wobbling out.
Yeah, you just feel good.
Yeah.
And you just feel like solid. And
I never skip a chest day.
Well, that's being said, I did chest this morning.
Yeah.
you skip chest day.
Bro, so I was just thinking about you.
Yeah.
I was just in Disney World. We went to Florida for a cheerleading thing for my daughter, and we spent 2 days in Disney, went to Epcot, and I was on Ratatouille. So I'm like, oh, shit, Chef James Avery.
Yeah.
But, yo, I was thinking what international cuisines have influenced you? And I was talking to my wife about that. She's like, no. She's like, the connection there is what family traditions influenced you? Did grandma make a shepherd's pie, or did you start just in the restaurants as a kid like I did? Like we were just in the restaurants.
Definitely, like it's a mix. I think people love asking chefs, like, what got you into being a chef, or what's your favorite thing to cook? And it's such a hard question because so many things led to me becoming a chef. So I started working in a pizzeria at 17 just because I wanted money. And I like restaurants. I like being in them. I like working in them. I like going, out to eat in them, et cetera. So it's a good environment. I love it. Anywho, growing up, my mom, she wasn't like, I wouldn't say she was like a cook, She would make dinner and all that. My grandmother on my father's side, on the other hand, my dad is from Georgia. So we would go down there, and now she would be cooking up a storm. Like I never knew what a grit was. Well, I knew what a grit was very early on in my life, but like going down to the South and eating my grandfather's breakfast, which was runny grits and eggs and a ton of black pepper. And then my grandmother would make, who knows, for lunch, chicken and dumplings, or we would just kind of would be supper, I guess, down there, or earlier dinner.
As my dad calls it, supper. Yeah,
I got really into food that way, but I just always liked eating food and exotic food, and whether it was more ethnic, like, I loved Mexican food when I was a kid, or going out for, Japanese or Chinese and stuff like that. So that's what kind of led me into becoming a chef. Working in restaurants at 17, going to college, being a busboy, sort of, bar back server, bartender. 22, I started cooking.
Where was that at?
In Orlando, actually.
Oh, okay.
No way.
I went to college in Orlando.
Nice.
And at Rollins College. But the whole time I was in college, I was a complete, like, not degenerate, but like I was not a student.
Well,
I was just kind of there, like taking up space.
You mean from like 16 to 20, you were a degenerate, like all of us?
Yeah, I mean, but just like, I was just an entrepreneurial person. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I'm like, I'm at college really just for the college experience, not so much like getting a degree. So I worked in restaurants the whole time.
So wait, you weren't going to college to get for
I was
cooking?
I mean, I was. I wasn't
culinary?
focused. Yeah, no. I went to a liberal arts college. I was studying organizational communication at Rollins College, but the whole time I was working in restaurants. The whole time.
Like as a waiter or just both?
Everything.
Yeah,
I did everything. I worked at. I did literally. It was Orlando, so it was like I did valet. I was, like I said, a busboy, a bar back, a bartender. I went to serving, and then finally I'm like, I need, to do this as a career, I think you have to become a chef, and that's what kind of led me at 22 to go work in a kitchen and start working that. That was my senior year of college, and then I went to my mom. I was like, I think I want to go to culinary school now, and I went down to Fort Lauderdale and got a quick degree in culinary, but that was it.
So what is that, like a 2-year degree, culinary? Is that different than a full?
Like you could get a four-year degree in like hospitality management from Johnson and Wales. You could go get an associate's in cooking. I did like a certificate at the Art Institute. It's a 9-month program. You learn all the basics. I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's what you need time in the kitchen and like learning how all those basic things. I'd already gone to college, so it's just like when you get a 4-year degree at Johnson and Wales, it's like college plus culinary school together. I did college then culinary school.
Gotcha.
Do you recommend working in the kitchen first or going to school first?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they're both. They both. I've worked with people that have only pretty much worked in a kitchen. and didn't go to culinary school versus people that have also just gone to culinary school and then hop into a kitchen but never really worked in a kitchen until they finished their time at culinary school. Two completely walks of life, you know?
I could definitely see like, whoa, I don't like this.
Right.
This is too
it's a culture
pressure.
shock.
Yeah, yeah.
And also at the same time, you know, the people that didn't go to culinary school kind of look down on it, like, whatever. I did both. I think the most well-rounded ones are the ones that did both. It doesn't mean that you have to go to culinary school, you know? But I regardless, I think the most important thing is that you get your ass in a professional kitchen, whether you're in culinary school or not.
For sure.
And you do that, you know, and get a feel for it.
Yeah, so I waited tables forever. He waited tables. I bartended a little bit. I never was a cook, never worked behind the line. Is it the same headspace as being a waiter as it is being in the kitchen? Like, when I used to wait tables, I would wait tables all night. And then all the ladies would lose their mind. It was like me and a bunch of women usually. I would take all the tables, just give me them. But then I'd go home and I'd go to bed and I'm still waiting tables all night.
Well, that's anything. You know, there's definitely a wind down period. So your question was, is it the same? Yes, it's exactly the same. You know, you're doing multiple things at once. It's high pressure. You can't make a lot of mistakes or it's gonna fucking destroy your night. You know, so you have to like just bang. You have to think quick, act quick, talk quick, move quick. There's no time for drama. People think there's a lot of drama in kitchens. There's really not a lot of time in the moment. You got to just get through it. I think I've done both. I've done front of house and back of house, and I'm grateful for that experience because I have the lens of both. You know, a lot of cooks, they give the front of house shit, or the front of house is like, oh, these cooks don't understand. It's like I understand everything, and I think that's what makes me gives me a unique advantage as a leader of restaurants, is that I have perspective on both sides, and I kind of mediate that, and I make it all about the guest. Versus the people in it, but it's a stressful job. You know, everybody's interconnected, right? And I always say, in restaurants you can't hide. Like if you don't do your job, something's gonna break down along the way. If the busters aren't busting, if the runners aren't running food quick enough, if the hostess is not seating right, everybody is connected. So nobody's job is harder or more important, just different. You know, like when a cook wants to give a server, oh, you fucked up this order. No, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, they're dealing with a guest. Like they made a mistake to a guest. They have to make it right. Yeah. Now you're being a prick.
Right.
Like that's and I have no tolerance for that.
What position has the biggest ego, you think?
You know,
bartenders are fun.
Bartenders can have an ego. You know, I don't think it's ego. It's like diva. It's like, I'm not doing that.
A nice head waitress.
Yeah, I get so mad when people tell me they're not doing something. I'm like, what the fuck are you? What do you mean you're not doing that?
That's not my job. That's not my job is the worst thing you could say. By the way, talk as close as you get to the mic, just because.
Talk it closer to the mic?
Yeah, if you can, just because we're still trying to dial everything in.
I talk loud, so I usually get told to talk away from it.
Get all in. But yeah, that's the worst thing you can say. And we've had 45 employees, and that's not my job. Is like, well, then there's no job here for you at all.
Like everything's your job.
Yeah, right? you are a link in a big chain. Yeah, that mostly you probably don't even understand.
I have like this napkin rule, I call it, right? And it's like when I walk in my restaurant, I'm constantly scanning the floors. Like I cannot stand when there's any type of debris, whether it's a French fry, a straw wrapper, a napkin. I'll put a napkin on the floor and see who steps over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I learned that from an old school guy back in the early days, and I was like, dude, that's fucking genius, because it's everybody's job. You know, you'll see people walk over like, oh, the bus boys aren't sweeping, or the dishwasher aren't doing this, and I'm like, no, it's everybody's job. So I kind of create that culture. When you see me walk in my restaurants, I'll pick stuff up off the floor, and I expect everybody around me to embrace that.
Accountability. Yeah, that's such ownership like mentality. Yeah. Even when I go to the coffee shop over here. Shout out Divvy Tree, they're the best. Yeah. But I just picked up a couple napkins off the floor yesterday. Or like, someone leaves their like rolled up like pork roll and cheese wrapper on the counter, like, or, one of the tables. I'm like, dude, I'm going to clean this up. Yeah. They're busy back there. I understand, like, this stuff just happens all the time, but I got the same thought process.
Like, here's one. Like, we have restrooms, and restrooms get kind of messy in restaurants. And I'll go in and, obviously there's stuff on the toilet seat, or there's, the garbage is overflowing. Every time I'm in there, I'm like cleaning up a bathroom. Every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like, okay, I have to spend an extra 2 minutes like tidying up, wiping down the vanity, making sure blah, blah, blah. Let me walk in behind a staff member who's walking out, and I walk into a shitstorm in the bathroom. Like that's another way I lose my shit. Like, you couldn't just do a quick grab some paper towels. You didn't see the urine on the toilet seat. You didn't see, or just go tell somebody. But when people act like it's not their job, like that is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah, when you go into a restaurant, no matter how good the restaurant is, if you go into the bathroom and it's gross, and it just changes everything.
It's a fatal wound
for sure.
It's like
in the house, it was like the thermostat. Great install, but if the thermostat looks all messy, fingerprints around the thermostat at the end of like a 3-day job, and the thermostat looks messy, it's like, oh, these guys.
Yeah, it's the only thing the customer sees.
Exactly right.
You know?
In a restroom, think about it. Like the bathroom they see and touch, and that's a very intimate thing when you go into a bathroom. If it's dirty, it's like, oof.
Give me an example of somebody you saw step over the napkin.
Like,
do you have a specific, or what's the talk? What's the pull aside?
Just like these aloof, and I hate being this like old fuck who's like young kids today, but like you hire like somebody younger, they're like on their phone, like just walking around the dining room, and I'm like, dude, there's guests like clearly have plates on their table. You just stepped past the straw. Go get a fucking broom and like tidy up. So I see that, but honestly, I drive that culture so hard that. It doesn't happen often, and usually it's either corrected or removed quickly.
How do you run or parent your kids in relationship to how you run a kitchen? Is there similarities?
Well, wait, real quick. How old are your kids? How many kids you got?
My wife and I, we had Kaylin when I was young. So Kaylin's 19. And then we have Emmy, who just turned 14, JP, who has just turned 13, and Mason, who just turned 8. All my kids' birthdays are in November, by the way.
Oh,
nice.
February is a cold, lonely month in February. Not a lot going on. Anyway, so that's how old my kids are. I'm very direct. I talk loud. I escalate. I get very excited when I talk. And in restaurants, you can get away with that. Maybe that's why I like being in them so much. So it's not necessarily shouting. It's just kind of like, even right now, I'm like jumping out of this chair.
I'm not shouting, I'm projecting.
Yes. And like when I'm at home with my kids, I definitely have to like, okay, like you're not at work, like change the energy. Like you can't talk to them like as direct.
Right.
But I do take accountability serious, and like everybody has a job to do and like a role to play. And I try to like, now, especially with sports coming up and my kids playing sports, if they don't feel like practicing and all that type of stuff, I'm like, dude, you're part of the team. Like that's like, you're going. My daughter, like she's a not competitive yet, but she's a ballroom dancer, and it's like I'm very big. Like you decided you wanted to do something, like don't break your commitment. You don't just like not do things because you don't feel like it today.
Now,
like,
how old is she, or what grade?
She's 14.
Cool. So sophomore or something.
She's in 8th grade.
8th grade.
So
cool.
Yeah, she'll be a freshman. Yeah.
Nice.
I got one in 6th grade, a daughter in 6th grade, and then my son's in 4th grade, and I have a 5-year-old, so I'm way behind you. And it's a struggle, dude. It's a struggle.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's I was lucky to have kids young because it kept me out of trouble. It's something I talk about on social media all the time. It's like, oh, the restaurant business burns you out. Oh, the restaurant business is hard on your life. You can't have work-life balance, all this shit. Like, I had no choice but to figure it the fuck out. Like, I had to figure out how to stay healthy. I had to figure out how to keep my family comfortable and be present. And I had to figure out just better ways to do things than just accepting the fact that restaurants is a shitty job, and you got to sleep with the hostesses, and you can't have kids, and you can't be a coach in your kids' sports. And it's like, I developed an entire system around living in this business. So I'm grateful I have kids. There's nothing like it.
No, it's awesome. I was with the guys who had kids when they were younger, and I'm like, oh man, that's rough. That sucks. Yeah. And now I'm like 46 with a 5-year-old. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, we did.
That backfired.
I did too, though. We had a surprise baby and a bonus baby. So like we have our bookends are 11, almost 12 years apart. Kaylin's going to be 20 in January, and Mason's just turned 8. So they're
nice.
Yeah,
that's good though.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's not. Yeah, so it's fine. It keeps you young.
I always say I thought I was doing something cool in my 20s. I was playing in bands and surfing and whatever. I was like, this is my retirement years. In my 20s, I'll work till I'm 80. And then when I got married and had kids, I was like, whoa, what a waste of time that 10 years was or whatever. I didn't have kids till I was 35. So it was like,
still young. Man. I feel like that's like normal now.
Yeah, that was fun though. We were in bands. We played in the bars. You know. Now we're like recovering. 10 years trying to catch up.
Yeah. It's all right. Slow down at some point.
But I used to love waiting tables. And I was the, wait tables, bartend. When I went to school, I went down to Stockton and I was waiting tables. And it is fun. There is a vibe. There's a culture there. But yeah, when it comes to waiters and cooks, is there like, do you have a lot of blow-ups between the two?
Yeah.
Is that a big problem?
Yeah. Again, part of what a leader does is build teams and like a culture in the space. And it's like, despite best efforts, you're going to come up short, and your teams, it's inevitable. It's a pressure cooker. So yeah, they fight, but as long as it's not like in earshot of customers and stuff like that, like, go fucking duke it out back by the dumpster. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
We're working close to each other. But no, I don't really see it a whole lot. It's just inevitable when you get people working shoulder to shoulder in a high pressure situation. Like, tempers are going to flare up. Hopefully everybody kind of brushes it off after service. And
so in your coaching, so tell me about the coaching thing a little bit, because the one question I do have is, how do you coach chefs to deal with? Is there like a specific, this is how you're dealing with the wait staff? Is it that big of an issue?
I don't get that.
Or you're dealing with professional chefs already?
So, all right. So just to kind of backtrack a little bit. Like I told you before with my kids and all that, I've developed really good systems. I really want to be a voice of reason and inspiration in this business, that, showing there's a better way to do it, protecting your physical health, your mental health, your personal relationships, setting up boundaries for how much, everybody just assumes you have to work a 17-hour day to be a good chef. It's not true. It's not true. It might be true in some operations. So I have a system and a way I do things, and I'm still perfecting it. But, what was it? I do the TV show. Like, that's part of what I do.
We were watching the other day. Sick, dude. So sick.
Pretty cool. But that's like one thing of what I do. But, I had the restaurants for 10 years in Asbury. And I decided, for a multitude of reasons, that it was time to kind of wind them down, exit out of Asbury Park. I found myself consulting earlier on in this year, and I have all these, friends that make, like, Ryan Robbins, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So he has a platform where he coaches people and talks to people, and we're in a point in time where knowledge is like a sense of commodity, as a commodity, right? Like, and they call this, like, it's the information economy right now. That's what Gary Vee calls it. So, like, your knowledge is a force of current, a form of
like
currency.
Wisdom opposed to information. Right?
So it's like, I'm seeing all these problems arise. I'm seeing all these issues in restaurants with getting staff, and I'm seeing mental health issues and all these problems and inequality of pay. And I'm like, I wish, like, I could take this time this year while I'm out of my restaurants to kind of, like, package and just start putting stuff out there to the world and universe. So I hired, a CMO, a chief marketing officer, to help me kind of get my message clarified and, like, the things I want to do. So currently, I launched what's called the Modern Brigade, and it's basically a digital community for chefs, restaurant workers, and stuff like that. It's very early on. It's in the infancy. I'm still kind of like one of those, like, build it as you go, build the parachute on the way down kind of a situation. But we launched our first product, and it's the Chef's Mastery Workshop. Now, it has nothing to do with cooking. It's not mastery in the sense of, like, oh my God, this guy makes the best, quenelle and the best, whatever it is, techniques.
Well, cooking and chef and cooking.
Right. So I'm going there. So I've basically boiled it down to, like, talented chefs, focus on four things: their skill set, first their mindset, then their skill set, their tool set, and then their health set. And I think nobody tells you that earlier on. It's just technique, work, get, be the best cook.
Give me those four again. Sorry.
Equals burnout.
Yeah. So mindset,
skill set,
tool set, and health set. And I'll give you a breakdown of what all that means.
Yep, love it.
And I'm trying to teach these people coming up in the industry, or even people that have been in the industry but they're struggling. It's like you spend all those years just grinding your face off and learning technique, and then they get 10 years into the business and they're quote unquote burnt out. And it's like, well, of course you're fucking burnt out, because what did you do to, like, systemize this? What did you do to build the right mindset? Like I have a growth mindset. I focus on that. I talk about an ownership mindset.
Do you see chefs, like, not delegating enough?
Yes. So, like,
holding the power.
I've always, because I became a father at a young age, I knew I couldn't go to Europe and work on all these great restaurants and become the best technical chef. I didn't really care to. I knew that what would make me successful is the things on the peripherals that nobody's paying attention to. So I read books like Traction. I read books like The E-Myth. I read books like How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read books on finance. Like, when I walk into, like, I'm getting off this call today, I'm going to talk to investors because I'm about to buy a restaurant and it's millions of dollars.
Hell yeah.
Those investors, they don't want to talk to me about what my specials are going to be.
Right.
They want to know what the fuck I'm going to do, how I'm going to run this place, what do the financial projections look like. You have to focus on learning those skills too. So when I found myself in restaurants coming up, it was like, so mindset, I told you what mindset was. Then it's like skill set. Well, what skills do I have to have? Well, I have to be a good communicator. I have to have emotional skills, emotional intelligence to keep my emotions calm when the bartender is fighting with the cook. How am I going to, conflict resolution? Yep. That's a skill set, right? Talking to investors, skill set. Cooking, talent, very important. But if you think that is what's going to make you a successful chef with good work-life balance and have peace of mind and all that good stuff, you're mistaken. So I teach the skill sets and what skills they have to. I don't necessarily, it's an hour, it's a 90-minute Zoom call and then followed by another 90-minute Q&A, and then they have access to me through the community. But I tell them what they need to be focusing on and working on.
That's the Chef's Master Workshop you're doing?
Chef's Mastery Workshop. Yep. It's an 8-week, deep dive. And it's great, man. It's like really rewarding for me. It gives people that might live in Louisville. Like I have one guy. He's up in the Canadian Arctic, up by where polar bears are.
Nice.
I have another guy in Nashville, Tennessee. Somebody in Orlando. So I have people from Austin, Texas. I have these people that are getting together in different economies, different positions in life. Mostly it's like line cook, sous chef, or like entry-level chef. But it's cool because it allows them to have access to me as a mentor. Otherwise, they'd have to move to New Jersey and come work in one of my restaurants. Now it's like I have this digital world now where I can speak to people. You can hop on, and it's do I do it to make money? Absolutely. But I also love doing it, and I think that's what's really important. If you can give people real value and do it authentically. Yeah, some guy said to me, I can't afford it. It's $350, by the way, for 8 weeks, and you get, like I said, 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes a week with me.
That's cheap, dude.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
But I also know what cooks can afford.
That's awesome.
It's $40. It's $40 a day, a week.
One of the best things about mentors with me was like you like what you're saying, access to you. You get to ask questions, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's not even a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Or like, don't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yet, like, this is actually 80% more important than that thing.
Right.
And they don't even think about it.
And it's like, so exactly. And it's like you give somebody one piece of, like, one little nugget and they think about things differently.
Yep.
Or, like, whatever. Now that $350 is like a moot point because you just made that in a raise and you're going to have double that by the, whatever it is. Or, you're a chef and I just gave you knowledge that's going to bring you from making $80,000 a year to $105,000 a year. I'm going to give you a roadmap to how to do that. So anyway, I do it. I keep it approachable because I really want to be impactful with this. It's not like I'm not looking to become a gajillionaire off of mentoring cooks and chefs. I really and selfishly I want to see the industry get better. I want to open up more restaurants. I want to inspire people to like, okay, I can get in and do this. Like James Avery did it, and this is how he did it.
Yep.
I'll follow his footsteps, and that's really that's really the mission.
Well, the good thing is you have a playbook. So that's like we struggled for years with no playbook. Once you have a playbook, just find the people that already did it and just emulate what they're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. It's just a waste of time. We're collapsing time now.
Yeah. No, you're better off like finding out something else that worked and that's like cooking. Like find out what's working and just do it your way.
Yeah.
Make or build a better mousetrap, like I always say. Like when I do restaurants, I don't do these avant-garde crazy restaurants. I open up a pub or a chowder house or a Mexican restaurant, and it's like, all right, well, just how do I take something simple that everybody's familiar with and understands and just make it great?
Yeah.
And then focus on the systems to scale.
So when you see, good, you got something?
Yeah, I got a question real quick about the. Okay, well, one. So the $350.
Yeah.
Do you have kind of two-part question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a booking process or technique? That's one, and then two, how that fits in the overall customer journey. Is that a lot of stuff that you're teaching?
Are you referring to like the people that are signing for the course as like a customer?
Yeah, like even like a simple thing like, oh, how to do reservations or this app that I use, like there.
Yeah, so that's so mindset. Told you what mindset is. Skillset. Told you what Skillset is. I don't really talk, and then the next thing is Toolset. So what tools do I use? Like how do I, what SOPs do I use? What is my format for an SOP? What is an SOP? That's a tool, right? An app. Maybe it's like like. It sounds crazy, but people don't even use the digital calendar.
Right, or just a booking app.
Right.
Yeah, anything.
We have this amazing thing now called AI. Everybody in the kitchen should be learning how to use AI. Not to write your recipes. Sure, it can help, but it can help you scale. Like I can say, hey, I saw this recipe in a cookbook, took a picture of it. Hey, chat, can you scale this to, be in a restaurant format? And it gives me like bulk doing it. Yep. And then I can look at it and be like, all right, well, this obviously needs more of this or needs more of that, but it exponentially, pushes you forward.
Yeah. AI helped me make chicken marsala last night. Yeah. From scratch.
So learning how to use tools. Like I tell chefs, you want to make $100,000 a year, but you don't know how to use it. It makes an Excel spreadsheet. Like, how the fuck am I going to pay you that? Like, I get it, because you think you're the hottest fucking chef in town.
So do me a favor, real quick.
Like, if you can't literally put a spreadsheet together in the kitchen, then I don't know how I'm going to use you.
Explain to people listening that aren't chefs and don't work in kitchens the difference between a cook and a chef.
A chef is like the chief of the kitchen. He runs the kitchen. Right?
He's the CEO of the kitchen. Yeah,
you could say that. He's the and there's a lot of ways to say it, like in
COO almost.
Yeah,
Chief
so
Operating
that's
Officer.
the chef. In simple terms, there's one chef typically. So there's the chef, there's the sous chef, and then there's the cooks. In classic French, in a brigade per se, like there'd be like chef de commis, which is like an apprentice, and it's more like union style, right? So there's chef de commis, then there's chef de partie, which is like a station. Like there would be like the poisson guy, the fish guy, or like the whatever station you're working, the grill guy, the vegetable guy, the garde manger. And then you would get into sous chef, and then and that means under. Sous is French for under, and then there's the chef. Now, let's say a chef like me owns the restaurant. I'm not always going to be in the kitchen because I have other restaurants. Maybe I'm doing a show, maybe I'm doing consulting, or I'm on a podcast, right? There's a chef in there, and that would usually be what's called the CDC, chef de cuisine. In America, the chef is the person that runs the kitchen. A cook is the one that is physically cooking food. Chefs are orchestrating it. Think about it like an orchestra. You have the conductor is the chef, and then all the musicians are the cooks.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I just wanted a quick breakdown. Yeah. But then, so the sous chef is like first in charge when the chef is not around.
Like I am on the TV show. I am a sous chef on Hell's Kitchen, so I work directly under Gordon, and I train the contestants and help the contestants. And so, yes, when you're the sous chef, in the absence, it's like the military. You are the, what do they call that rank? Highest ranking officer.
Yeah, yep.
That's what the sous chef.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, usually the sous chef does like as a chef, I prefer to come in like around noon and leave around 10 o'clock at night. So like the days of me coming in, opening and putting, all that is kind of done. I come in, kind of get my meetings out of the way, menus, get to dinner service, get out of dinner service, and I can like leave at the tail end of dinner service. Whereas like the opening sous chef is in charge of opening duties, closing sous chef is in charge of closing duties. They have a bunch of other tasks they have to perform throughout the day, and that's kind of how it works.
Nice.
So on Hell's Kitchen, you have a bunch of people chefs that are under you, and you're training and coaching and their teams and everything else. These are chefs then. These aren't cooks. These are chefs.
Some are, some aren't. Like, there's definitely the last few seasons we've done, there were, from what I can recall, they were all chefs. But I mean, earlier on, I had done seasons where there was like somebody who was just out of culinary school and was a line cook, because it's not necessarily just looking for the best chef that's ever existed in America. It's like who is somebody that can be developed on the show and who can like take over one of those restaurants. So but yes, I mean, for all intents and purposes, now and probably majority of the contestants are chefs in a restaurant. So
now that how many seasons in are you? So the pool's probably much bigger.
We just wrapped season 24 last year, and that's what's currently airing. I personally have been on 6 seasons, so nice. He had a sous chef for 10 years. He left the show. I came in, did season 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then I left to open up my own restaurants. Obviously it was very difficult to do the show. My family was very young. So I kind of took a hiatus from the show. But we stayed in touch, Gordon and I. And, if he was in the area, I'd go like do a cameo on another one of his shows or something like that.
Let's see if I could do this right. So what color team were you?
Blue.
Blue. Team blue, baby.
All right, ready? Hold on. Talk to the mic.
So then what is the biggest like mindset shift when you're on the show with some of these guys coming in? How raw are they, and what's like the first thing that they need to understand?
Well,
see what I just did there with the blue lights?
I mean, what I have to, that's cool. what I have to do is really, it's a real restaurant. It's easy to think, it's a TV show. It's all this and that. It's a real restaurant. And I have to they come on, they're nervous. Let me tell you something. Gordon Ramsay's a very intimidating guy. because he's who he is. You know, he's bigger than life, and he's just fucking intimidating. And a lot of what I do is like calm these people's nerves, you know, because like if everybody's just nervous, like it's like you know, it's not going to make for a good dinner service, which will ultimately translate into not making good. So I have to kind of get them in the mindset, like, guys, it's just cooking. We all know how to fucking cook,
right?
You know, people are always blown away, like, oh, how do these people fuck up scallops and risottos and all this stuff? I'm like, you try doing it. You have 50 cameras in your face and Gordon Ramsay asking you how long until it's done, and you're like just in a new environment away from your family. It's fucking a head fuck.
Yep.
So my mindset, you know, I'm always there as like a big brother to them. You know, the guy my predecessor, he was a little bit more stern with them, a little more militant. You know, my role is to really just be there and mentor them and guide them through it and hold them accountable if they fuck up. But really, you know, I'm there to ease them into it, you know.
Dude, I'd imagine being in the kitchen. Again, you got a couple different people. You have line, you know, the sous chef, everybody else.
Yeah.
But I'm in my kitchen. It's crazy, bro. I got rice going. I got the chicken going. I got vegetables. I'm trying to get the kids to set the table.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. And I'm like, but it's cool because you get in a zone and you're like, well, this takes 30 minutes. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. I'm in my kitchen, but it is time management. Right? You have to know how long everything takes, and then it all has to come together at the same time all night long, which is probably the craziest thing ever.
That is truly what I just saw this awesome post on Instagram about like what the most stressful thing for chefs is that, and everybody's up against a clock, but we are literally up against a clock. Like, how long does this need to cook for? What time are we opening for dinner service? How long has this ticket been in the kitchen for? How long has this table been waiting for their food? Like, you're just constantly hearing this like beep, beep, beep. Like, you're constantly fighting time. And it gets fun when you get good at it.
You get a zone.
It's like, like you get locked in on your time management and all this stuff, but you gotta think clearly. You gotta, like, you know, when I drive to work, and listen, my life is a little different now. Doesn't mean I don't get in the kitchen and have to do long weeks, and especially in the summer at the Jersey Shore. But, you know, back in the day, you know, especially if I'm opening a restaurant or something like that, but like driving into work, no music. I'm like just thinking about my day, like visualization. Like, okay, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get that going, I'm gonna put this there and this there. And I learned that working for David Burke at Fromagerie way back when. And I remember when we would come in the kitchen, you know, we were responsible for setting up our entire station. Like, there was no magic man in the back. Like, if you walked in, it was like the chef gave you the menu, like, here, it was like Scribble Scrabble.
Yep.
And like, here, you're responsible for all this stuff, blanching these vegetables, getting your starches ready. Other than the butchering the meat, that was done for you. But like getting your station, all your mise en place is what they call it.
What is it?
Mise en place. It means to put in place.
Okay.
So it's all your ingredients.
So wait a minute, is that French?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of French in just high-end cooking?
Yeah, just because like that was kind of like, you know, at one point in time, long time ago, French was like the way, like the brigade, like that. Escoffier like codified it, like the actual systems and the nomenclature of all the things that you do. Now it's like, you know, listen, Japanese cuisine is fucking fire, like Indian cuisine is fire, but like the French have such a big impact on. Like, they were the ones who really like
started it,
made it awesome and made it like a cuisine and revolutionized how we eat. Where was I? Oh yeah, so when we would get to, you know, David Burke, you know, you have 12 hours in your day to get this done, 10 to 12, whatever the day of the week was. Maybe it was more sometimes, I can't remember. But the point is I would come in and it was like, I knew how to like blanch a bunch of vegetables, which means you drop them in boiling water to kind of set the color, set, you know, get them half cooked, put them in ice water so that at dinner service you're not waiting 20 minutes for the carrots. It's a garden. Okay.
Do the same thing with pasta?
I knew I had what? You do the same thing with pasta, depending on the pasta, not fresh pasta, but yeah, like dried pastas and stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah. But I remember specifically, I'd come in just dressed like this with my backpack on, and I had to walk past the pot where the pots were, the pot rack, my station, and then go downstairs and we'd get ready. And that was like a 5-10 minute, like whatever, just by the time you got dressed and put your stuff away. I would come in, like grab the pot, fill it with water, put it on my station, salt the water, go downstairs, because that was the extra 10 minutes of the pot getting hot, so I didn't have to wait for the pot. Like, that was how fucking like demented I got with time management.
I don't think that's
dialed in. That's dialed in.
It's like, you know, you hear about athletes. They're trying to get 1% better, changing their mattresses, putting whatever. It's like you're trying to figure that out every day in a restaurant. Like, how do I just do this a little bit better so my day's a little bit easier, a little bit more efficient, so I can, you know, either be done sooner or come in a little bit later, or like, and that's just kind of how I go.
Yeah.
2 millimeter
the
shifts.
Scariest thing to me when I walk into a kitchen, you know, especially on like a Friday, is an empty stove. I'm like, guys, we open in 3 hours. What the fuck are you doing? There's nothing. There's no sauces cooking. There's no bland. They're like, oh no. And meanwhile, they're chopping herbs. I'm like, we can chop herbs while that's going.
Yeah.
Like have your if you're on a cutting board, there should be as much shit as possible cooking behind you. So like that's the kind of shit you get with experience, and that's the kind of shit that I share with up and coming people, like your mindset.
It's just like heating and air conditioning. Like, you'd see the guys cleaning up, getting everything in, and then going to get the vacuum. The vacuum takes 45 minutes. You got to put a vacuum on the AC. You set the vacuum up, and then you wrap the whole thing up. And it's like, there's little things that will kill the day.
But see, I wouldn't know that, but it took you however many years of doing HVAC to understand that. Like but it's time, and it's just constantly like thinking, like, what's the smartest way to do this?
Yep. How do you dial
order
that
of
stuff
operations?
in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Never like walk to and from the truck empty-handed.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Full hands in, full hands out in the kitchen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Servers, you're bringing dirty dishes in, grab a plate, bring it to a guy.
Yeah.
There's always full hands in, full hands out.
Yeah.
What kind of like KPIs or something do you have? Like, do you have like for certain restaurants, do you have like a certain time where you're trying to like flip a table?
Yeah, I mean, look, different restaurants have different timing standards. Your casual restaurants, let's take like Outback, for example.
Yep.
They probably have a time standard of when a guest is sat, you have 2 minutes to greet them.
Yep.
And then it's like you have 4 minutes to get their drink order. The drink order should be on the table within 3 minutes of ordering it. At the time of the drink order, if they're given apps, you have 7 minutes to get the apps on the table. Or 7 to 11 minutes, let's say, right? Yep. And then it's like they give entrees, you have 20 to 25 minutes for entrees to hit the table. And then dessert, blah, 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 blah. You get what I'm saying, right? So those are called time standards. Those are usually, that's like an SOP, it's trained, it's part of the culture.
Yep.
You go to these higher end restaurants.
Let me stop for 1 second. So let's say Outback, for example, if we could just kind of use that.
Yeah, no.
What time do they open? 4?
4, yeah.
Okay, so if they open at 4, they close at 10?
10, yeah.
All right, so you have 6 hours.
Yep.
As like an operator, are you thinking, all right, 6 hours, we should be able to do 8 tables?
6 hours, 40 tables. How many times are we going to turn them over? How fast can we turn them over?
Yeah, I mean, like, you said KPIs, so I thought you were asking about like how long it should take to like.
Yeah, key performance indicator or whatever.
Yeah, no, I know, I get what that is. Well, yeah, a big one is covers, daily covers. You have a check average. Okay,
right.
we have a weekly revenue or a daily revenue goal. How many times do I have to turn the restaurant? If 100 seats, I gotta do 150 people. I gotta turn this restaurant 1.5 times. Monday, I'm happy to turn it 0.6 times.
Right.
Whatever it is, because on Saturday you're gonna turn it 4.5 times.
Love it.
But definitely, I think you need to know your numbers, like know your food costs, and that's very simple to figure out. So like this thing here cost me 25 cents. Okay,
Yep.
You divide that by what you're selling it. That's your food cost. So if it's 25 cents and I sell it for $1, it's 25 cents.
And is that chef or that's not owner? That's chef, right?
That's a task of the chef.
That's
when a
chef,
chef, and again, I'm a chef owner, so when my chefs want to do a dish, I'm like, that's fucking amazing. Well, how much does it cost?
So
if they can't answer that question,
right,
it's a moot point.
So is the chef ordering meats and vegetables and stuff like that?
The chef's task should be scheduling, ordering, and pretty much the orchestrating the day or organizing the workflow. They can't just be glued to an oven working one station, because then who's telling this guy down there who's burning the fucking croutons? So chefs have to have their head on a swivel, touch, go. You have to learn how to do that. But chefs should be doing the ordering. Different operations, like there might be a restaurant where like your chef is a guy that's making $25 an hour. Okay, well that guy's not ordering the meat,
Yeah.
So it's in a true professional multi-million-dollar operation. The chef does the scheduling. Sometimes the sous chefs do the ordering because it's too much, because the chef has to do inventory, which is an entire fucking day, and they have to sit there and cost menus, and they have to have meetings with management about banquet. They call them BEOs, banquet event orders. So it's like, this chef does the schedule. I'm sorry, this sous chef does the schedule. This sous chef does that. But I oversee it all. Ultimately, the chef is the one accountable for the labor and the cost of goods.
Yep.
On the food side. So they should have their finger on it. It doesn't mean they actually have to plug in like we need a case of tomatoes,
Yeah. So when it comes to ordering, somebody made a decision about who we were ordering from, right? So talk to me about sourcing. So this is super interesting, because I just heard the other day that there's only 4 companies that run like 90% of the beef in America.
Well, IBP, yeah.
So then when it comes to sourcing, and if you're a chef or a business owner, a restaurant owner in New Jersey, can you buy local beef, like high end?
Yes, you can. There's better farms. There's like Snake River Farms. There's like different farms you can get American Wagyu, or you can get grass fed. Blah blah blah. Commodity beef is what they're talking about. The 90%. Yeah, that's like these big fucking processors out in the middle America in these giant feedlots, and they all buy these processors buy the beef and they white label it and they sell it to broadliners like Cisco and U.S. Foods. But there's other farms there's other small, more sustainable, better quality farms that different suppliers can go from. In terms of sourcing ingredients, I know people, like I have a friend out in Austin, Texas. His entire menu is ingredients only from Texas.
Nice.
That's really fucking hard.
I love that. That's hard.
Cool.
That's hard.
It's hard,
Gotcha.
and I think it has its purpose if you have the clientele for that. If I try to do that out here on 88 and Brick, they'd be like, "Why the fuck is this salad $19 or whatever?" It's like we couldn't do it in New Jersey.
Yep.
But so you have like your big box stores, your more pedestrian bar and grill restaurants around by us. Like they're probably buying everything from one vendor. Like they call it a broadliner. They're getting their produce from this guy, they're getting their meat from this guy, their dry goods or whatever it is. I like to have a meat guy, a seafood. I say guy. Sorry. Whoever,
No, I get it.
Business.
Yep.
A meat person. A meat vendor, a fish vendor, a produce vendor, and usually I have two of each because I like to keep everybody honest. And then a broadliner. Like fryer oil, who gives a shit where I get that from? Who gives a shit where I get my kosher salt from?
But does fryer oil matter?
It does.
Are you like crazy? Like didn't Kennedy just pass something?
Yeah.
Like beef tallow.
Beef tallow.
I mean, beef tallow is great. I mean, you will never get it. I mean, like take all the health and the political divisiveness about seed oils out of the equation. Like beef tallow fundamentally just tastes better.
Right.
You make French fries and beef tallow, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, I believe it's better. I had a restaurant that was seed oil free, and this was like 8 years ago. And the people didn't get, they didn't understand, it didn't translate. They're like, well, why is this so much more expensive?
Which one? What was the name of that?
It was Farmly.
That's right, Farmly. Farmly.
It was basically a non-GMO Boston market.
Right.
That was my whole. It was so it was no seed oils, no GMOs, no high fructose corn syrup, and no dye. It wasn't all organic, but that those are like the four kind of pillars I wanted to lean on or stand on.
Did you think that just didn't catch on? Like,
Yeah,
you
people
think
were
they
like,
didn't get it?
People were like, so at the time I was going down to Virginia and like meeting these farmers that were treating farmers well, they were treating their employees well, they were treating the animals well. The animals were raised like exceptionally well. They gave them longer time to grow. They weren't fed like promotants and all this other bullshit they put in commodity animals. I'm paying $10 for a chicken. So what do you think I was selling a rotisserie bird for? And people are like, well, I don't get it. I can get this at Costco for $5. I'm like, that's a fucking $1 billion business that's selling that to you at a loss because you're going to walk your ass in there and buy all these high margin items in there. So it's a loss leader. I can't compete with them. So I don't think the value proposition was there. For me, it was. I wanted wholesome food for families in my
Dude,
town.
if you look at some of these chickens, raw,
fucked up.
they're gross, dude. I spatchcock chickens all the time. What were you saying?
You have a chicken story, right, about driving down the highway.
Oh God! When I was a kid, we used to go to Outer Banks a lot. We were driving down to Outer Banks, and the chicken truck was in front of me. Yeah. Dude, it was the grossest thing I've ever seen. It was a big giant truck with cages. There was birds all on the sides of the road. It was disgusting. And then we get up there, up the way at Purdue. It was probably 25 years ago. I haven't bought a Purdue product once since then. Gross.
Like chickens falling out of the truck.
I mean, so my daughter, actually, it's funny. She goes to college she goes to JMU in Shenandoah Valley. And
nice.
The way I found JMU was going down there to buy my chickens. And like, I didn't physically go down there to buy them, but I would go down and visit the farmers. Like I saw the entire process. I saw the hatching, where the eggs were being like pretty much made and hatching to like the farm where they were raised to like the whole like live chickens going in one end of the factory and then coming out packaged in the other and like the whole. I've done that with pork and I've done that with beef. Yep. I flew to Ireland and I went and saw a lamb processing farm and a beef because the animal husbandry in Ireland is second to none.
Really?
Yeah. So I the Black Swan when I owned that, all my beef came from Ireland. But I think it's important to be connected to food. I tried to tell a story with this fast casual. I think if I did it today, now it's you can't, like, seed oils is just like seed oils. I've kind of relaxed a little bit on it. I'm not saying they're healthy for you. I do agree in eating like minimally to zero processed food. I think the world has become fucking obsessed with everything, and I feel like that's almost more unhealthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna not eat. Oh my God, there's canola in this.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
I'm like, dude, like, fucking.
So I'm the opposite way. I have like a histamine problem.
Yeah.
So for years, I thought I had a gluten issue. I was getting itchy and stuff. I didn't eat gluten for like 12 years. Now I find out it's a histamine issue. So certain oils I can't have. I'll get itchy immediately. So I don't know if that's just something that's going on with me, or if like my body's so sensitive to it that like
there's nuance to it. Like, I get it. You can have, like, allergies are real. That's a whole nother.
So I don't think it's an allergy, which is so weird. Histamine.
It's something. I mean, we don't just consume, seed oils. We inject them in things, and they're in medications and stuff like that. I mean, they're in everything pretty much. I guess my point is like, you can't lose your fucking mind.
You drive yourself crazy.
Like people that are like, I can't have gluten. I'm gonna have gluten-free flour, and then they're doing that, and it's got all these like guar gums and xanthan gums.
Bro, there's way more ingredients in that gluten-free
I'm like, that's
stuff.
fucking 10 times worse for you than just having a little bit of non-GMO organic gluten.
Yep. Yeah, there's something about gluten in Italy, right? So they say the wheat there.
Glyphosate. Well, it's true. It's what nature intended wheat to be like. Whereas here, it's like it's genetically modified to grow under certain conditions better, that are probably nutrient void, and then they spray the fuck out of it because it's all big business and they can't lose their investments. So
bro, how did we get there as a country? When you think like, oh, America's the greatest country ever, except for, and I love America, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But how are we? Oh, no other country lets you do that. How?
I think
did we get there?
I think a certain sect of society will tell you capitalism did it, and then another will say, well, no, we did it because we had to feed the poor,
Feed the masses.
feed the masses, and like you'll get all these differences of opinions. Like, I mean, honestly, fucking lobbying the government, like Monsanto, like saying, hey, like this is fine if we do this, right? If we give you a gajillion dollars for your next campaign, we can fucking spray everything with glyphosate. That's okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
FDA said it's safe. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, honestly, I think that more than anything, like, you don't have lobbying in other countries.
Well, oh wow, that's a problem, right? Yeah, I heard the other day. There's like, my numbers are gonna be screwed up, but there's like 150 people in Congress or whatever, and there's like 1,800 lobbyists. That's crazy.
And that to me isn't like, I get in these debates all the time. We're going political, aren't we? So like,
nah, we don't have to go political.
but seriously, like when I talk to friends, like, oh, capitalism is the devil. I'm like, no, it's not. Lobbying is. Capitalism would actually work if like this is cronyism, right? Like having lobbyists kind of defeats the whole purpose of capitalism.
That seems like the biggest problem.
It's 100%.
Yeah, the lobbyists.
The lobbyists and the banking.
It's super interesting because you just said there isn't. I've never thought of this before. There might not be lobbyists in other countries.
I don't think there is. Like, I'm almost certain there is not.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, I
think a lot about all this stuff, and I've never thought about that.
Yeah, no, and that's truly. I mean, think about it. Lobbyists are paid to convince government that this isn't that bad of an idea.
So they can make money.
Isn't that not that this is a good idea? This is not bad of an idea.
And there's probably some upside. So let's just fucking paint this a certain way and.
Okay, and then I can make more money on my investment.
Yeah, but it's pretty evident that they are getting there's money being changed hands to convince them. Obviously, right?
Wow. Have you seen the movie Thank You for Smoking? No. Oh my God, watch it. It's all about lobbyists and like with all about the cigarettes and how they're not that they're not linked to cancer. You can't prove it's whatever. It's all about like this lobbyist and basically a giant fucking scumbag, and he's a lobbyist and he.
Was this like in the '60s or something?
No, this was recent. The guy. Can't think of who the actor is. What the hell was he in?
It just came out recently.
No, this came out in the last like 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, what was his name? The guy that was that played Two-Face in the Batman and movie, Joker.
I don't know what his name is.
I can't. Blonde hair.
Yeah. Gordon.
Whatever.
No, Gordon's the
Gordon's
chief.
the cop. Right?
What is his name?
Anyway, Thank You for Smoking. Great movie.
All right. Yo, back to Hell's Kitchen real quick. What's something that the cameras never show?
I can't tell you that. No, the cameras never show. I mean, what the cameras never show is how long of a fucking day it is. Like we're there all day. It's intense. Gordon is a really great person. I'm blessed to have him in my life and have met him and being able to be part of all these cool things. You don't really get to see all that. You see a 40-something minute compressed kind of version of dinner service and all that. But it's fun. I stay in touch with all those people. I have a lot more interaction with them than the camera shows. I'm with them all day, every day. And it's fun. Like we have a good time on the show. It's when it's not in the height of dinner service, kind of things are a little wild. Like we're in there prepping or we're doing challenges. Like it's a fun experience. I'm really happy that I got to do it for as long as I have.
That's awesome. Great. So the newest season is season 25. You're on that one?
It hasn't. That is to be determined. Like
so the newest one is
nothing's official yet. I mean, I can only see it happening. I mean,
so then the newest recorded is season 24.
The one you're watching right now, I filmed in April of or whatever it was, summer of 24.
Nice.
So we haven't filmed in like a year.
So out of these guys, these contestants, have you seen them? So you stay in touch with them?
I stay in touch with all of them, yeah.
Who's gone on to do like great things? Have you seen these guys really get somewhere?
Well, yeah. I mean, many of them went back to their day jobs, Obviously, the winner goes on to work within his company. But yeah, I mean, they all do good. Some lose their jobs to go do the show, believe it or not, and they have to go find a new job. But we all stay. I stay in touch.
Well, how long are they there for?
It's like 3 weeks.
And they lose their jobs, so you would think they'd be like, yeah, go do that,
and then promote.
We're gonna promote the heck out of it.
Some restaurant owners, not me, are scumbags, and they don't see like value. I mean, dude, I had my original partners in Asbury. They didn't want me to go back and do the show. I'm like, dude, you don't want the guy running your restaurant to be Gordon Ramsay's sous chef.
That's the craziest thing.
Okay, that's fine, but
you would imagine that's a big reason
why. People are like, well, it's not that big of a deal. Like they just want, I'm paying you, I want you here working. I get it to a degree, but like it's like, dude, it's fucking 3 weeks, and it's good publicity, and it's good for the person. Like let them go have their moment, figure it out.
Dude, that's a home run.
Yeah, like if they got seriously injured, and you'd figure out how to run the restaurant for 3 weeks, like
right,
figure it out.
Yeah, and you're coming back with so much skill and. You can advance the whole restaurant,
I mean,
awesome.
just the publicity point of it.
I was going to say, how much spending does like an average restaurant spend on advertising? Because you would figure that alone would cover a lot of the advertising spend.
Yeah, the exposure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it varies from restaurant to restaurant. I mean, and it's newer now because it's all social media driven. So it's like, it's just, 10 years ago, you didn't have to spend $5,000 a month on ad campaigns and content creation, and that's a whole new line item now for restaurateurs.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, you're fucked. And you try to do it yourself, it's not that good. Advertising and marketing for restaurants has really become a thing. The restaurants, skill sets, and any business owner really, if you can create your own content, and which I've been really trying to learn how to do, that's a massive upgrade. Because obviously there's
some guys that are really good at it.
Yeah, exactly. So like if you don't have to hire a videographer to come in your restaurant once a month for $2,000, and then pay an editor $2,000, and then pay somebody to engage and make sure that's up, and then boost posts for $2,000 a month. I mean, it just goes so quick.
Do you know what's crazy? You can put any kind of ad on. You can have the best company build out the greatest things. What I've noticed is what gets the most views and the most hits is when I hit record and talking to myself.
Yeah, 100%.
And I post it, and it gets 200 views, and there's a million comments, and it's the best advertising. It's crazy,
dude. It's crazy. People want to see you. I've just had in the last 2 weeks two reels go viral. One has 1.7 million, and the other one has 1.2.
Nice.
And it's just me at my cutting board with a knife, with a cool song playing, saying something like relatable and impactful and overall helpful, but it's like it strikes a chord with the people who follow you, and then it just goes boom.
Anything to do with the restaurant business, or like
100%?
Just like
No, it's
like
me at my old restaurant that I sold, like literally cutting parsley. And then you get a bunch of fucking assholes. Oh, look how he's cutting the parsley. But no, like people.
That's a butter knife he's using.
People want you. Right? Like the business is like, yeah, sure. Like your business might be like the product or the service, but they're really buying you. Right? And I think when people see like a face behind a brand, or even really importantly, a restaurant, they can like associate with that. With me, it's a little different being a public figure on TV. I have followers for different reasons, but I definitely think there's something to be said for like independent business owners to get on and talk. it just builds a rapport that's invaluable with your clients and your customers and all that stuff.
Yeah, everybody wants to be part of the tribe. They want in.
Yeah, and it's just like, just fun to watch people talk,
Yeah.
Look at this.
There's like a connection to it.
Yeah, it's not just like a faceless ad, like, hey, we're doing 20% off this month.
Right.
So Gary Vee is like, if you don't follow Gary Vee, you should. Like, he just drops like such, really good stuff. And, it's like his whole thing is like, you can't always be selling people on Instagram, right? Like, you got to like talk to them and give them stories and give them a reason to want to buy from you. And then like, oh, here, by the way, this is for sale. And then go back to like.
It's like one of his first books, right? Isn't that
jab, hook?
Yeah.
So but it's true. And it's like, it's authentic, and look, everybody has to get paid and make money, and hopefully we all can monetize on our expertise or on our products or on our experiences. But like, when you talk, you have a chance to be really authentic and let people get to know you and decide if they want to buy from you.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Help people. Have fun doing it.
That's the most important part. You got to enjoy all this shit, because we're all going to the same place at some point.
Exactly. Eliminate the stress.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go to work. So how many things can you set up? Like you were saying, systems. How many things can you set up in a restaurant to eliminate additional stress that really people don't have to deal with, because they're already dealing with just the stress of coming to work, their personal relationships, all the stuff they're dealing with.
Yep. Problem solving. Like I say, how many problems do you solve when you go to work every day?
Yeah.
For the people around you, your employees, your customers, like it's like that's literally what everybody does for a living, is solve problems. So if you just go to work and just solve one problem, cook, you're not solving a lot of problems. Like I had somebody call out, that's a problem. Are you going to step up to the plate and like work a little harder today? Or are you going to bitch and moan and tell me that we're understaffed? This guest, the server dropped the plate. Are you going to fucking solve the problem? Or are you going to fucking act like a badass and yell at the server for dropping a plate?
Right. That's an opportunity.
Like, yeah. So I'm always like, are you solving problems or are you creating them?
Yep.
Or are you doing absolutely nothing?
Dude, you can look at that and go both ways on every single one. Like like someone drops a plate, so now you got to wait another 10 minutes. Well, you could use that as an opportunity to like, hey, here's a free dessert. Come back next time. Here's a $20 gift card.
Whatever the solution is, come up with it. Solve the problem. And like that's how you win in life. The more problems you solve, the more happiness I think you find, and the more money you tend to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Or you could be fucking a stick in the mud about everything.
Nice and easy.
Complain.
Yeah, right. That gets you nowhere.
All right, I'm going to quiz you. Let's see if you even think about this stuff.
I probably don't.
What's the just take maybe one of your restaurants, just any in your head, doesn't matter.
Yep, got it.
What percentage of the tables order an alcoholic drink?
For 45%.
Nice. What percentage orders dessert?
Less, probably you're probably around 18%.
Nice. And then what? These are specific. You know it. And then what about appetizers?
I'd say it's pretty high. Probably right around 50.
Nice. Cool. Just like the very
Did you do like
inside.
Did you ask ChatGPT?
No, this is where my head goes with like stuff with when we were running the company. It's like, what are these percentages of everything? And then it's like, that's how I try to build out everything.
You have to, when you own a business, everything has to become a measurable bit of information. Otherwise, you can't manage it and fix it and perfect it and scale it or systemize it. So you have to be able to measure it, and in order to measure it, you have to know it.
Yep. It's like, yo, man, we have this great dessert this month that we were pushing, and it's we're at 15%, not 40% or whatever.
Yeah, I just did a one-on-one with one of my members in my group, and he has a restaurant. I'm like, so listen, like, tell me about your P mix. He's like, well, product mix. How many? It tells you how much of each item you're selling. Mm-hmm. And I said, 20% of your profit. I'm sorry, 80% of your profits coming from 20% of your product mix. The bottom 10 are probably fucking costing you the most money, and you're not making anything. I said, get rid of them. You need to know these things. You have to go into your systems. And now with like all these cloud-based.
What's the CMR? What do you guys use? Is there a specific software you use?
Toast, which is like fully integrated. So it's like your entire POS system, and it's cloud-based. So I could be at home, pick up my phone, be like, oh, wow, sales are X. Oh, labor's at this. This guy clocked in. Why is whatever. So I use Toast. It's been a pain in the ass because they grew so quickly, and they don't really have the great customer service piece figured out. But it's kind of the most widely used. So like your team knows how to navigate through it. So you kind of whatever. But point is you can measure these things, like, right? So I know how many burgers I sold last year or last week, or I can pinpoint a date.
Is Toast the same thing that I swipe my credit card with at the coffee shop?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well, that could be another It's a POS system, point of sale system. But
do you have your systems processes like written down somewhere? Like, do you have this dialed in from years and years? Or so like if you were coaching people and they needed help with that?
Yeah, like can I just hand them an SOP? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I don't like keep all those things like a catalog. It's not a bad idea to do that.
Yeah.
No, I don't. But it's you just tell them. You know, a lot of these companies do it for you. If you have your menu, you can just give your menu to like the company and they'll program it for you.
Nice.
But yeah, but like definitely, you know, when I worked for Be Our Guest, a huge restaurant group out of New York City, we had a supply, our corporate chef, what was called a menu markup. And we would take the menu and we would go into the back end of the POS system and we would like write down the total number of each menu item sold for that month. And then we'd off category, right? Then we'd rank it 1 through whatever the number was, you know, the top selling appetizer, the worst appetizer,
Yep.
the top entree, the worst entree. And we had to write the food cost on the other side of the menu. Made making decisions very fucking easy.
Yeah.
What are we getting rid of? How do we
Margins.
raise prices? You know, and I didn't really understand the value of it until like I became an owner. I'm like, dude, that's what we did. Like, that's genius.
Dude, tracking your shit's amazing. So with our business, he tracked everything. And I would do things like, oh, I'd be mad because somebody called out. And he'd be like, well, we have 20 employees and they probably call out 3 times a year. So that's 60 call outs a year. So you got to expect somebody to call out at least once a week. I'm like, oh boy, that just kind of settled me down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's it.
So always you look to the numbers and you're like, oh, that explains it and that calms everything down.
Everything's measurable. Once you can measure everything and you kind of can make sense out of it. Like I'm kind of a little weirdly obsessed with numbers in that regard. And I'm always trying to find better ways to do it. I'm always asking, like, those are the questions I ask. I'll figure out how to cook a fucking whatever dish. I'll figure that out. But like people that know how to do that stuff at a really high level, I'm all ears.
Yeah, you're running a business.
Totally.
Nice.
What else is going on, dude? No more jujitsu, huh?
Dude, nothing hurts anymore.
I know.
Like it's just, it feels so good to not be in pain. Yeah, I mean, and it's just life, like restaurants, businesses. I'm working out. I coach my kids. It's like
What sports do the boys do?
lacrosse mainly. So
nice.
my middle son, he does lacrosse. He's a goalie and he does it year round pretty much. He's on 2 teams and it's a lot. He did football this year for the first time.
Tackle football. How old is he again? 10?
He's 13.
Oh,
So
13.
he's in 7th grade.
So my son did tackle football for the first time this year too.
Yeah.
Loved it. He loved practice.
What did he play?
He played tight end.
Okay.
So he actually, a lot of these kids were on the team for a couple years and he earned his way in.
Okay.
So I'm telling him, dude, I'm like, hustle. It's all, you have to go there and hustle. Or no one's going to pay attention to you. I said, you have to win every race. So they would do the big laps and he'd win every single one. And the other kids were like, it's a jog. Dad, they said it's just a jog.
Yeah.
I said, just tell them that's how fast you jog. Yeah. So and he earned his way onto the field, you know?
That's it. Well, that's a great, like, you know, coaching moment for your kid. You know, my son, he was the center and he's also the goalie for lacrosse. So he's, you know, one thing I told him was like, dude, take the job that nobody's willing to do. You can always pivot once you're in it, but like take the job nobody's willing to do. Nobody wants to be the center. You know, not many people want to be a lacrosse goalie. Now he's excelling in it.
Dude, that's like basketball. So the same thing. I'm like, yo, get it. And I bribe him. I buy my entertainment sometimes. So he'll play basketball. The other day, I have him go in. I said, dude, 10 rebounds per game. They had a double header. So he's the younger kid on the team. They play 5 periods. He plays the second and fourth, right? Yeah. So I said, you get 10 rebounds. And he wanted like V-Bucks or whatever it was. Dude, he plays like a man possessed. That's and awesome. I'm not like, yo, go score 10 baskets, because then you need somebody to give you the ball. You can't control that. You can control hustle and getting rebounds. I'm next to my buddy. He's like, yo, that's 9. And he sees it. He's like, there's another one. He got another one. So, the first game, he gets 10 rebounds. Second game, the coach had him in for 5 periods. He doesn't shoot well yet. It's a 10-foot. We had 7-foot net. He doesn't shoot well yet. He can dribble a little bit, but he hustled and he gets the fucking ball. You get your team
possession, you're going to win the game.
Yeah, buddy.
And that's how, I mean, look at Dennis Rodman. The guy couldn't fucking hit the rim from 10 feet out.
Ton of rebounds.
Fucking, there wasn't a ball that he didn't grab.
Yeah, baby.
But yeah, so I miss jiu-jitsu, but I'm doing the lifting thing. I'm at a point. I'll probably go back. I just need to like find somewhere that's like a little slower paced.
Dude, I'm lifting again, so I want to get strong and go back. But I was just talking about, you taught me the lasso.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yeah.
You taught me the lasso, and that lasso sweep. I use that that's like my go-to still, and that's from you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Dan Strausheim taught me that. The lasso is, I like the gi. No gi, whatever. It's just, it hurts my neck. But cooking, the gi playing, and the way I played it with the lasso and trying to learn all that stuff, my elbows started hurting. I couldn't work. Yeah. That was a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to pick up a pot, like, oh.
Did he ever get you in the baseball bat choke?
I think I taught you the baseball bat.
Did you teach that?
Nice.
You may have, yeah.
From top
Dude,
side.
I get everybody. No, from anywhere. So I get it from underneath a lot.
You roll. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. When you're inside control, you get it.
Yes.
You let the person kind of start to pass.
You fight the pass. Don't let them pass, and then boom, they go quick.
Dude, the boy did that to me.
Yeah, he's the guy, right?
I was a white belt. He was a brown belt. I'm on top of him. I'm like, I'm going to get past this guy. Dude, next thing I know, it's just like,
You're out. Yo, I did a competition. I did one competition as a white belt. I was a 4-stripe white belt. I said, all right, I'm going to do one. So we go in and I shot. I'm like, I'm just shooting. And I'm not a wrestler, but I'm like, I'm just getting in there. So I shoot. He pulls guard. I'm stuck in guard forever. I finally pass his guard. We fall into the table, like the scorer's table. And then they put me. I think I ended up in guard. So then I'm like, all right, I'm losing. We're 6 minutes into a 7-minute round. This guy's definitely beating me on points. I sink the baseball bat. I have it. And he's a white belt too, so he don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not letting him pass, not letting him pass. And then boom.
Yeah.
And I hear his coach, watch out for the choke. And I'm just giggling. I'm like, too late. So I got him. And dude, somebody yells belly down. I go belly down. I'm squeezing forever. All of a sudden, he's snoring in my ear. Yeah. The ref
comes on quick.
The ref didn't even know. I said, he's out. He's out. So
that choke comes on quick. I think I did it too much because everybody like either knew I was going to do it or like other. But it's like, you know.
I did too much too. I can get like new guys once, and once I get you once, they're nobody's falling for that again.
That's all I've been hearing about for like 5 years.
Yeah, it's always like, this guy kicks my ass, but then I got him with the baseball bat choke.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I do love it. I do miss it. I mean, I wanted my kids to do it. I mean, I'm right under purple belt. But I'd have to probably start all over again.
Dude, I have like 7 stripes on my blue belt. They keep falling off, and I don't put them back on. I barely deserve the blue belt. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like when you leave for 6-8 months, you go back in.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like almost like starting over.
It'll be 5 years in May. You know, we did it during COVID, whatever, like when we were allowed to, and then like the year after. But then I had elbow surgery.
Oh, you've been out for 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just about. I mean, I've been out of like going to Bills, but like I was like training with going to friends' houses. I was doing some privates just because I really just didn't want to like have to be in a situation because you're inevitably, no matter how hard you try, you're gonna end up going with somebody. You're gonna end up going too hard.
Dude, some of these guys are crazy.
Yeah, you get a fucking D1 white belt wrestler on your back.
Bitches baseball bat choke.
Yeah, or they rear naked choke you and they have your chin and your fucking.
Yo, by the way, the funny thing is when you have that D1 wrestler white belt come in and he's going crazy and you hit him with the baseball bat, he slows down. He's like, oh, wait a minute.
Or the opposite. They get pissed because they're not used to losing and then they just turn into a fucking gorilla.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And you're spending the whole time trying not to get like your nose broken because it's like elbows flying. But
dude, my problem is I want to go 100%, except for I don't because then I went back for like 6-8 months and then in June I was in Costa Rica. I was training there and I like pulled my bicep. I couldn't pick up my daughter for like 3 months.
Sucks.
I was like, dude,
Sucks. And that's why I don't do it anymore. It's just not the risk reward, the quality of life. It's just not there.
Well, good, because I was coming in thinking, all right, they're going to talk me into going into jiu-jitsu, and now I don't have to worry about it.
No, let's do Muay Thai or something like that.
You got to sign the table, bro.
Yo, real quick though.
Where's this at? Where?
Wherever you want.
Really? Okay.
Yo, what's the greatest lesson the kitchen has taught you about life?
I think grit, I think grit, and I kind of already mentioned, like, do your job, but for me, it's a road less traveled. It's a hard profession. I'll always be the first one to say that, but I stuck with it all these years. I gave it all the effort I could consistently over time, and it's worked out for me. And I think that's a big lesson in life. Most people quit when it gets really hard, and you're right about to like figure it out, and that's when they quit. So that's what the kitchen's taught me.
What's the legacy you want to leave the industry?
That you can fucking do it. It's not what you think it is. Like you can have work-life balance. You can learn systems that eventually, as you come up in this business, you can start, spending more time with your family. You can, again, just you can be healthy, you can be happy, you can have money. Listen, you're not going to be a millionaire. There's a lot of jobs you can, a profession, just because like you're not going to be a millionaire in a profession doesn't mean like you shouldn't do it.
Right.
And people go, the money sucks. It doesn't suck. Where you're working might suck. Your job might suck. So my legacy is like growth mindset in this business. You can do anything you want.
Beautiful. James Avery. Chef James Avery. The Chef's Master Workshop.
Yeah.
What is that? ChefJamesAvery.com.
Yep. So chefjamesavery.com. There's, I work in many capacities, right? So like right now I'm in between owning restaurants. I'm about to hopefully do another one. But I consult, I mentor, I do webinars and stuff like that. So if you go on my website, you can see workshops, and then the Chef's Mastery Workshop is, you can click on that and see when the next one's going to be running.
That's exciting. My man.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Good stuff.
Cool, man.
Sign the table.
I did.
Did it.
So I think what like when you build a fast casual franchise, the whole plan is exit.
Yeah.
Like you don't,
It's like the E-Myth. Like you were saying, the E-Myth before.
So that is like a build to sell thing, Some restaurants are lifestyle, they're enterprise value, and you want to just have one, and it's a gem, and it gives you street cred. It's like Danny Meyer in New York City. He had all these wonderful restaurants in New York City, 11 Madison Park, Blue Water Grill, Union Square Cafe. He made his millions off of fucking Shake Shack, Well, he made money before that, but he made real fucking money with Shake Shack.
By the way, I didn't realize how big Shake Shack was. I just saw it come across the ticker. It's trading at like $75 a share.
You know who's fucking big is Jersey Mike's. $8 billion.
Well, they got bought out.
From making subs 5
From
miles
right
down the road to
Yeah.
fucking $8 billion. I heard that. I was like, what the fuck?
Subs, bro. Do you remember
There's
back
no
in the day?
way that's going to work out for them long. Like, how do they recoup $8 billion on subs?
That's a lot of subs.
They
dude.
resell it. So they'll buy it.
Right, but it's got to collapse at some point.
It does. I feel
What,
like
the next guy's buying it for $20 billion?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what? How does this
All
work?
of a sudden, dude, I saw them on Yankee,
So that's
Yankee
the problem.
Stadium.
I don't know if we technically could get into how private equity works, but it's
scary, but but I think that ruined a lot of.
we might have a non-compete that says we can't talk about private equity.
But like that's how a lot of this business they buy. So you built it. So I think you kind of missed the mark on starting another franchise. Sure, maybe there's a unicorn, but there's a higher success rate in those types of concepts.
Yeah.
I wanted to do. I think the breakfast sandwich market is underserved. I wanted to do like a breakfast sandwich, not bagel shop, like a breakfast sandwich. Like 1,200 square foot space. You need 3 pieces of equipment.
You know what's...
And you just fucking rip breakfast sandwiches and good coffee until 2 o'clock. So check this out. This is my theory, and I'm just giving away free content because whatever, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, but they need to actually act on the information.
So here's kind of my thought process. All right, you do a breakfast sandwich place, and then maybe you do like a smash burger at lunchtime, and by 2 o'clock the concept shuts down. It's closed. It's done. I think people would want to consider that as a franchise purchase because it's like, oh, cool, I don't have to like work nights and all this stuff. It's like daytime. It's a high margin item. It's underserved in the market.
Yep.
So I was just like, dude, I would love to do like a breakfast sandwich.
You know what's underserved? Probably pork roll everywhere else except New Jersey.
Yeah, what's that all about?
What is that all about?
People don't get it. Like they just, I mean, like you're seeing it now.
Shouldn't they get
like
it?
There's like you're seeing a lot of New Jersey people now transplant, and they're like bringing it in. Like I know out in Austin when I was out there, I was hearing about a guy that has pork roll on his menu. When I was in Fort Lauderdale going to culinary school 20 years ago, there was a diner down there that had pork roll. So you see it, but I don't think you could build a real. I mean, I don't fucking.
Dude, I'll settle the debate right now. If it's pork roll or Taylor ham, it's pork roll in New Jersey. But if you're gonna try to implement it somewhere else, you better call that shit Taylor ham because nobody's buying pork roll out of state.
You go to the Raritan Bridge up by Perth Amboy, dude. Like they call it pork roll.
Taylor ham. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? It's pork roll. It says it right on the fucking box.
Yeah.
Why
Just
don't...
But if you're bringing it out of state and they've never heard of pork roll, that's not good marketing.
You think the name is weird?
Who's buying pork roll? What?
You think the name's weird?
Yeah.
Pork roll?
Pork roll?
Yeah, bro.
That sounds weird.
It's so weird.
What I find.
Why don't you just rebrand it?
That's so
and then-
What I
gross.
find wild.
Pork roll. I love it.
What I find extremely wild is that there's only 2 companies that fucking make it. Like, how has there not been like an organic one company?
Well, how is it only in New Jersey? That makes no sense.
It's like how is there only Scrapple in PA?
Right
It's like our thing.
Yeah, right on.
And
The
it
other
really,
question is like, what the hell is it?
it doesn't have a lot of
But what is it?
use. Yeah, what is it? You know what, dude? I've tried to figure out a recipe. It's basically like a blend of spices, white pepper, nutmeg.
Oh, actually, what is it? Yeah, what is
what
it?
actually
I was
is
just doing the forky thing.
It's like smoked, cured, ground up with spices, and then poached. It's like, I don't fucking know.
It's amazing. Whatever it is.
actually
It's
pork?
sweet and tangy,
Is that the-
baby.
Oh, yeah, it's pork.
Pork.
But it's not ham, which is why they couldn't call it Taylor ham.
What's the difference between pork and ham?
Well, snout isn't ham.
Snout?
Whatever.
Isn't
Parts of a pig Like a ham is a ham. It's a fucking ham. It's like the butt cheek. It's the
Oh,
fucking
really?
thing.
So ham is one part of the pig.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay.
Wait a minute.
All
So we're
well,
eating snout meat?
let me button this up. Probably. Let me button this up. There's beef, and there's filet mignon. I can't grind up beef and roll it into the shape of filet mignon and sell it as filet mignon.
Right.
Filet mignon is a specific cut. Ham is a specific cut. You cannot call something by truth and like menu laws something that it's not.
I never thought about that with the ham thing.
That's why, like, so when Taylor created that, or it was Taylor who created the product, wanted to call it Taylor ham, and they said no, you cannot call it that, literally. So on the box it says Taylor pork roll.
Interesting.
But we
And
still call it
you have
Taylor
to
ham.
fucking, and like, you tell this to people who call it Taylor
Dude.
ham, they're like, no, it's Taylor ham. I'm like, oh my
So the
God.
debate's actually over.
I think it's over.
It is fucking
We solved it.
legally binding over.
Well, they told them they couldn't do
It's
it.
fucking.
Nice.
It's not even up for
Finally.
fucking debate, dude. It's whatever.
I see the debate all the
solved the
I
time.
think they
problem.
just think it's cool. You know, it's Taylor ham.
That's hilarious.
Ah, we solved the
Good.
problem, dude. That means we're worthy.
Get out of here with your ham.
That's what it is, man. So
Love it.